everyone, welcome to today's speed build. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining us, and if not, then welcome back. So today I am finally back with my base game save file and building in the world of Newcrest. Now we are working on a community lot today. We are actually building a library in this world, and I am super excited for you guys to see this because I had so much fun at building this, and I'm just so happy with how it turned out. Now, if you don't know and you're a little bit confused, hey, my name's Hannah, and I'm currently doing a save file in the world of Newcrest. Now, this is completely base game, so I'm not using any packs. It is completely pack restricted, and I am pretty much just working my way through all of the lots. I did do an initial video where I kind of did a blueprint overview just to let everyone know kind of what I'm going for and what the different areas of the world are going to be, so I will link that down below if you want to check it out and you want a little bit more insight into what I'm actually doing. But yeah, now today we are working on this library, which again 100% base game, and this is actually the second community law I have done so far for the save file. The first one I did was the bar. It was like a daytime slash karaoke bar. I love that build so much. I thought it turned out so nice. And yeah, this is the second community lot, which is the library. And I felt like a library was a really good one to do because I really like libraries. I don't know, I just think they're so fun in The Sims. I mean, not that there's loads to do there, but I always tend to pick libraries libraries for dates and things, and I just feel like it's a staple to have. Now, I was working off of a reference photo. This is a photo that I've shown previously when I did my kind of like blueprint video, but I will just pop it on screen now so you have a little bit of an idea of what I was working towards for the exterior. I feel like I did a pretty good job at keeping it pretty similar. Now, there was a few struggles I had with this build, and I will get into detail about that. I feel like I had so much fun building this, but it also felt like the game was trying to test me because there was so many situations where I was like, why is this not working? And yeah, I was just having like so many issues, and I think that's also what delayed this video a little bit because, well, let me just address the elephant in the room. The last base game save file video was around 2 months ago, so this is definitely long overdue, and I do apologise, but I've been super busy. So I have been working on this in the background, but I just haven't been able to get it done, so I'm just so excited to finally say that I'm done with this build. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about my kind of goals for this build, what I was trying to work towards before I go into what I struggled with. I really just wanted this build to be fully functional. I wanted it to be visually appealing. I wanted it to look like somewhere you would love to take your Sims, take them on dates, take them to study, anything like that. I just wanted it to look really nice, and I wanted it to be 100% functional. That's always my number one thing when it comes to my save file. I always want my builds to be functional no matter what, but with my save file I feel like I'm just even that little bit more panicky, making sure everything is easily accessible and there's going to be like no issues. So I wanted this to have a general kind of like traditional library vibe. I feel like it definitely does come across that way. By the way, you will see me add in some little roofing pieces here. I do end up getting rid of them, but I wanted to show the process of me kind of doing some tweaking, just because I feel like sometimes it's nice to see. It's nice to see things that I tried that maybe didn't work out for whatever reason. But yeah, I wanted this to feel like a very traditional style of library. I wanted it to feel kind of old-fashioned, definitely not modern at all. And I feel like I succeeded. You can let me know what you think down below. But yeah, my number one goal was functionality, which it definitely has. It is on the gallery, so please feel free to download it if you would like to. Everything seems to work very well, so I'm so happy about that. And of course, the other limitation is just that it is base game, so we are limited in terms of, you know, maybe not having as many activities and such, but honestly, to me, it's not a big deal. I still think it works super well with being base game. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about the problems I faced. One of them was the exterior trims. So you can see that I've added them now and they look great. I love these. I feel like the build just would not have the same vibe without these being here. But the issue that I faced was when I moved on to the interior. I found that a lot of the exterior trims seem to just want to connect to the inside walls, and I have definitely dealt with this problem before, and so I feel like usually I'm quite good at resolving the issue, but for this specific build, I don't know why, just nothing wanted to cooperate with me, and so I was trying so hard to get rid of them. I was trying to kind of like make it look less obvious, but honestly it just didn't want to work. Now I did come back to this a few times when I was building because I was like, I'm just gonna leave it, I'm gonna come back to it, and eventually I got to a point where I was like, that looks fine. It's maybe not perfect. There is still some there is still some of the exterior trims that kind of seep onto the inside, but you will see it doesn't really look like an issue. I don't know how to explain it. Hopefully I'm not hopefully I'm explaining this as best as I can. I hope I am. But yeah, that's essentially one of the issues I had. I also had the issue with roofing as well. I was trying to like change the roofing and that was seeping onto the inside. I also ended up having a kind of like open balcony on the inside. I felt like this just looked really good. It really helped with the library style and made it appear more like a library. This was another issue because it seemed to just want to, when I was deleting the floor, it wanted to just bring all of the what are they called, the roofing pieces down. It wanted to bring all of the exterior trims in. It just wanted to, I don't know, it just wanted to mess everything up, and it was honestly really like, I don't know, challenging, I suppose, just having to fix all of it. But eventually I did get to a point where everything seemed to be okay. The reason I mention it is because I feel like it just is important sometimes to mention the things that don't go right first try. I think that there's nothing wrong with being completely transparent with that. And also another reason is because if you download this and you have any of those issues, maybe from me explaining it, you can kind of see why that's happening. Now, what I did do to resolve them is I kind of tried to delete the ones that I could, the ones that were possible to delete, and then with any that seemed to just stay, which seemed to just be one on one of the walls, I actually just kind of made it blend in with the wall and look like it was intentional, which I feel like it did. It was a shame that I had to do that, but I feel like it did work. Now, there is one more slight issue with this build, and if you're playing in live mode, it will not be an issue, but the build is slightly off center. Now I know, okay, don't panic. Everything is still symmetrical. Like, I made sure that everything is symmetrical, nothing is off, like everything is laid out the same, but you'll notice it right here. I couldn't get the build to just be in the middle. Like, for some reason, it was just off very slightly. Now, if you're playing in live mode, you will not notice this because you can't see the grid, you can't see the law edges, so it shouldn't be an issue, but I just wanted to point it out because I know that it was slightly off, but I still think it looks really good, and I feel like it's something that you probably wouldn't have even noticed unless I just said it there. So I just wanted to mention it, but it really isn't an issue. Everything's still symmetrical. So I just wanted to cover that. I just wanted to make sure you knew about that. Now, in terms of the kind of exterior and what vibe I was going for, I really enjoyed playing around with pools. Now, the pools, of course, are supposed to mimic ponds. I just felt like the pools was a much easier way to do it and have it look a little bit more intentional than having like ponds around the place. I really love how this turned out. I am really happy with it. I felt just like, I don't know, really proud of myself for this kind of like design choice. Now, did this take quite a while? yes, you will see me playing around with tool mod. Oh, by the way, just to say, this is of course base game and I am using tool mod. You do not need to have tool mod to download this. It will still look the exact same as what you can see here. You do not need the tool mod, so do not worry about that. Just wanted to mention that. But yeah, I decided to go for this kind of like pool vibe, which is meant to look like little ponds, and I surrounded them by the hedges, and then I just kind of didn't size them down. I elevated them into the ground and tried to, yeah, just make it look a little bit intentional, like it's kind of been designed this way. Now this is another part where I was like, okay, this bit isn't going to be symmetrical. I do end up fixing it. I end up just making this bit a little bit smaller and it ended up working really, really nicely. But I feel like I don't even need to like say it, but you know that way I'm like, I just want to mention it because I feel like some people are going to be looking at it and thinking, this isn't symmetrical. And you're right. You're so right. But yeah, I just wanted to mention it. Now, in terms of the interior of the library, I feel like this build is so deceptive because from the outside, it doesn't look massive. It definitely looks grand in a way, like the building itself looks very grand. It's got a really nice like grand front area, you know, like with all the bushes and the ponds and everything like that. But I feel like it on the outside it looks like it would have a very small interior. It actually doesn't. It has a really, really big interior. There's a lot of space, not too much, like there's not like empty space or anything. There's not like big areas of nothing, but it's really nice. It's such a nice size on the inside, and I'm really, really happy with it. Now I did create different sections on the inside, and I wanted to just talk them through a little bit with you. So when we first go into the first floor, which you will see me decorate soon, you don't see me do the floor plan or like the initial floor plan just because I was having so many issues, as I was saying, but when you go into the first floor, there is a lot of little reading nooks. So that consists of little couches, like little armchairs, and of course lots of books. Of course, there ends up being like little areas where people can sit together and read their books. There ends up being a chess table, of course, absolute necessity for a library. Now I also on the bottom floor thought it would be really nice to add a child section. So this is an area where kids can sit and they can read books, or their parents can read books to them. I love this area so much. I am like so excited for you guys to see it. So that ends up being on the bottom floor as well. It's kind of like sectioned off, so it's in another room, because I was thinking kids, you know, they do tend to be a little bit more loud, even maybe if they're told not to be, and I feel like also with kids a lot of it would be out loud, speaking out loud, you know, reading out their books, of course. And so I thought it just made sense for them to have their own little section where, you know, they don't have the kind of, what is that called? They don't have people that are distracting them. They don't have the distraction of people, and people also aren't being distracted by the kids. But I really like that area. I'm really excited for you to see it. And then for the second floor, so the top floor, there ends up being just pretty much a big computer area. So I was thinking if you wanted to take your teen sims here, they could come here and study. If you just want to get your computing skill up, if you want to get like your gaming skill up, you could definitely like come here as well, and you could work on the computers. Completely up to you. I just wanted there to be different sections because I feel like it just made it a little bit more exciting, especially when I moved on to the inside. I kind of looked at the space, and initially it was a little bit daunting. I was like, okay, wait a minute, what am I supposed to do here? How am I meant to fill this full of books? Like this is a big space. And that's when it came to me that I was like, well, it doesn't all need to just be books. It can all be a little bit different, and we can add different sections. And yeah, I'm just very, very happy with how it turned out. So hopefully you guys like it. I'm really, really excited for you to see it. Now, in terms of lighting, I feel like the exterior is pretty well lit. I do have all of these little like light posts. I think I may have added a few extra ones to like the sides before uploading this. I'm not 100% sure. You will see in the screenshots. But it seems to be pretty well lit. On the inside, I added quite a lot of lighting because I felt like it looked a little bit dark. So you will see that I end up adding more and more lighting as I go, especially for like the kids area and then for like the computer area. Oh, something else that I added, in fact, now that I'm thinking about it, there's also an area where your Sims can eat. So if your Sims want to sit and like have some food and maybe they're hungry, maybe they're spending the whole day there is like a little kitchen. Now it's up to you. You could see this as a staff room kitchen, or you could see it as it's for the, you know, it's for the public. I did look at it to be for the public, is what I was thinking. But of course you can do whatever you like. There ends up being a sink, a little mini fridge, and then also a microwave. So there is, you know, kind of enough things for your Sims to at least grab something. And then I think there also ends up being a little table in there as well, so your Sims can actually sit down. By the way, my neighbours just decided to mow their lawn, which is completely understandable because it's a beautiful day and like it's also like 1 o'clock, so but yeah, just if you can hear any background noise right now, that's what that is. I'm hoping it's not interfering too much. But anyway, we've moved on to the back area. I have been yapping non-stop, I'm so sorry. But I'm just adding some seating, so we've got a few little different areas for seating. We've got some benches, we've got some tables, we've got some just like normal benches, just lots of different things. Now we've finally moved on to the interior. Now you will see me do sort of a floor plan, but I kind of add on to this as I go. So we end up having the middle room. Now this ends up being a big bathroom, and then there ends up being a smaller bathroom for the kids in the kids section, because I just felt like it made sense for them to have their own little section. There also ends up being a little sofa area in here where all your Sims can, well, not all your Sims, it's not that big, but like your Sims can sit. They can actually watch a little bit of TV. I did put TVs in here, which may be weird. Maybe you're thinking, Hannah, why would you put TVs in a library? That's a good question. I kind of imagined that it was something that is muted, like the TV is not actually making any noise, but there's maybe something on, like maybe there's like knitting, or maybe there's just something pretty chill that people can just kind of sit and watch. Also, where like some of the TVs are, it's quite a board roomed off area, sectioned off area, so it probably wouldn't interfere too much anyway. But yeah, that's what I had in mind. Now this was the first kind of nook that I created, so this ends up having, I think, just 2 chairs, and then I think just the bookshelves. I just thought it looked really cute. Now I did take away the windows of here just because there's 2 bookshelves covering it, and then I was like, what am I meant to add to this wall on the outside? You will see me add stuff. I ended up adding like notice boards and things just to make it appear like there was maybe events going on in here. I don't know, just something to make it feel a little bit more realistic. But yeah, we're moving on to this little area, which ends up being a side door. So this is just a little section where you can actually get to the pathway if you would like to, like if you want to leave but you can't be bothered walking to the front door. I don't know, I just wanted to add a little something. Sometimes when I'm building, I'm honestly, I just feel like, oh, I want to make this a little bit more interesting, I'm gonna add this, and yeah, I just kind of get carried away with things, so sometimes I don't even plan these things, they just kind of happen. But yeah, hopefully it looks all right and you don't mind it. But yeah, I was struggling a little bit with this staircase. I had to make sure that the floor was on a platform for me to connect the stairs, which wasn't an issue at all. But yeah, just thought I would mention it for some reason. Now, I did end up using the base game potted plants down here just to add a little bit of something. I love doing this. I do this in my builds anyway, like when they're not base game, but it works really well with base game plants because they're actually really nice. I don't know, it just added a little something. And yeah, this is me moving on to this kind of back wall, trying to work out what to do here. I will say I want to apologize for the fact that when I build, I'm so like, I don't know, like uncoordinated. Like I'll do one thing and then I'm like, wait, I want to go do this now. Wait, I want to do this. I just don't stick to the one thing. But it does help me when I'm building, because I feel like sometimes I can get like bored of the same place, or I can just get very stuck on certain things. So yeah, that is why I do that, but it's probably a little bit annoying to watch, so I do apologize. Now I feel like in terms of base game, okay, base game, I feel like I am quite comfortable building most things. This is my first time ever building like a base game, you know, museum, a library. This is my first time, but I feel like overall with the base game, I am comfortable with it. I feel like I know like good ways to use the objects. So I wanted to just say, if anyone does struggle with base game, I feel like there's a few like nice tips that I can kind of give. So like one of them being, I think it's very easy to, you know, use the same things over and over again, because there isn't a lot of variety in base game. I mean, let's be honest, there's not loads of stuff, so I feel like that is just so easily done. But what I tend to do if I am kind of reusing an object over and over is I will try and break it up with different things. Like we now have pillows in the base game, so I'll try and add those to, you know, like different chairs, maybe even change up the swatch. I didn't do so for this just because it was a library, so I wanted everything to be pretty coherent with each other. But if you're building, you know, in terms of like a residential, I feel like even just doing little things like that, you know, like breaking up the space with maybe like plants, maybe what are they called, lamps, you know. I feel like you're then able to get away with using the same things, but it doesn't necessarily look like it. Also making like custom furniture, I tend to do that a lot, where you kind of mix certain things together, like maybe two tables together to make one table, just kind of creating your own things that become a little bit more unique, and so that they don't look so repetitive. I also try and clutter things up a lot. I think that with base game, sometimes things look very bland and they just look very plain, but if you use a lot of something, like if you have maybe like 4 plants all in a corner together instead of just like one plant, it actually adds so much more to the space. But yeah, I don't know if these are helpful tips as such, but these are things that I tend to do just to kind of like, you know, add a little bit of something to my builds, because otherwise I think it is so easy to just fall into doing the same thing all the time, and it's something that definitely I struggle with. I actually struggled with doing that even just generally, not just with base game, but with the builds that I was doing. I found that I was just doing the same thing over and over again, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I want everything to feel different. I want all my builds to have a different story, a different way of being, and it honestly made me like the game so much more, because I felt like for a while I was like, I'm always just doing the same stuff, and I was like, well, that's my fault. Like, that's literally my fault. But yeah, just little things like that. Now, a lot of things I do usually with rugs is I'll like tilt them slightly to make it look like they've kind of moved out of place. I didn't do that with this build because I felt like with it being, again, a library, it just made more sense to look a little bit more polished. But with homes, residentials, I feel like it's a really nice thing to do. But yeah, you can see me adding the little chest table here, and then I think I just put in some bookshelves. I honestly just wanted this place to feel very full. That was one of my biggest concerns. I didn't want it to feel empty, because with big spaces like these, they can definitely be very daunting, and sometimes I do struggle a lot with that. And so yeah, I just wanted this to feel, you know, very full and very lively. Now, this is where we move on to the kids section, and I am just so excited for you guys to see this. And something I need to address. Okay, so the flooring. I initially started with this one, which I was torn between. You can see I'm like switching between different ones. I do this for a while. Now, this is not the carpet I ended up staying with. Spoiler alert, but I do end up changing it to the plain one. I did not know we had the plain swatch. Like, see the plain swatch that I use or end up using? I didn't even know we had that. I need someone to tell me if we've always had that or if we got it recently, because I felt like I was going crazy. Like, I have never seen it before. Like, it's just a normal carpet. I know that we've had like normal looking carpet, but this carpet looks very pristine. It looks very tidy and neat, and like it looks like a normal carpet, whereas the other carpet we had, it didn't look like that. I'm just very confused. But anyway, I really like this carpet. I felt like it looked like it would be in a library, but my issue with it was that when I was placing rugs down and when I was putting furniture down, it just didn't look great. Like, everything kind of merged together, especially when I changed the wallpaper. I just felt like nothing was cohesive and I just didn't like it. So anyway, I ended up using this one, and you can see there's a carpet like to the on the right side. I knew we had that one, but I didn't know we had this one. I don't know. Maybe you're listening to me and you're like, Hannah, we have had that we've had that carpet since the game launched. I don't even know. I've just never seen it, or I've never used it. I've never even like thought about it. But anyway, I've seen it and I used it and I think it looks really nice. It's literally just like a plain grey carpet, but it just kind of works. Now, I did add activity tables to this room because I wanted there to be something for little kid Sims to do if they really wanted to. Maybe like 2 Sims are going on a date, and like maybe there's like a single mom and she brings her kid and she's like, okay, like you can go in there and you can chill and you can do your activities, and then like, you know, the 2 on the date are like the mom and the guy on the date are like in the other room, like, you know, chatting, hitting it off, like reading books and stuff. I don't know. And just like a little idea if you're wanting to play with this lot. I feel like I just have to make up a story for everything. That's my red flag probably. No, but I do. I mean, if you've been watching me for a long time, you probably know that I love coming up with stories for things. I do it a lot. I feel like when it comes to gameplay, I'm just such a story-based person. Which reminds me, I do have a video coming out, probably not for a while because it is going to take a while to get fully, you know, made and finished. But I have a video that is pretty much a lot of gameplay, and I'm so excited. I'm really excited to share it with you guys. But yeah, not going to talk too much about it because I feel like it's still very early in the works, but I am working on it. So yeah. But anyway, here is me cluttering up some of the shelves. My mind just goes blank. This is kind of what I was talking about with cluttering things up though. Like, literally just putting loads of things together makes it look so much nicer than just keeping it plain. And I feel like it does make it kind of, for a minute you're like, oh, this isn't just base game, you know, instead of it looking super base game-esque. But anyway, this ends up being the little bathroom. So this bathroom is designated for the kids. Obviously any adults can use it that, you know, are in the room as well. It's not like a restriction, but it's generally for kids. It's got like a potty and everything, so if your kid needs to use the bathroom, this is the bathroom they would be probably best intended to use. It's just very small, there's not too much going on, but I did show me decorating it anyway. I think after this, I move on to the back room, yes, and then I think I do the central bathroom, which is not the most exciting, but you know, I kept it in anyway. So this area here, this is where I end up having the TVs, and I end up having just pretty much books, some sofas, and then a table. There's nothing too crazy in here, but you know how like when you're in like a waiting room, like a doctor's waiting room or like a dentist waiting room, you know how they have like TVs, but like you can't really hear them? Like, that's what I was thinking, kind of like that for this room. But it's not a waiting room, it's just a room. But like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's that vibe, but it's a library, right? You know what I'm talking about? I feel like I don't even know what I'm talking about, to be honest. It's only like 1 o'clock and my brain's fried already. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of what I had in mind for this room. I feel like it looks really cute. I've got these 2 base game sofas. These honestly, despite them being base game, are one of my favorite sofas in the game. Like, they just look so good. They work so well. The pillows sit so nicely on them. I just love them. I really, really like these ones. I added some extra pillows as well, just for a little bit of extra detailing. And I think we end up having some curtains, yeah. So I was kind of going with this like blinds vibe. Now I do end up sizing these down, which I'm doing here, and that's when I realized this looked way better. Then for these ones I used the rounded curtains because they just look absolutely perfect. And this is when I realized this area looked like a little dining table, and that is not what I was going for. I wanted it to feel a little bit more chillaxed, a little bit more like, you know, Sims just kind of, they sit here, they read their books, they chill out. It's not like a formal dining room meeting. So yeah, hopefully it looks a little bit better now. But I think we're going to move on to the bathroom, and then we finally will start work on the upstairs. I don't know if I make any little tweaks like outside or not. Probably some small ones. I just can't remember if they were on camera or not. So, you know, we will see. I feel like I do forget sometimes the order I do things in. It's a lot. I also have, like, I'm filming at the moment quite a few builds, which I'm super excited. And actually, let me just say, I do have a Discord. If you would like to join it, there is a link in my description, and there should also be a link actually down in the description of this video as well. But yeah, it's pretty much a Discord where everyone just sits and chats. They send in their own work and stuff, and honestly, it's such lovely people in there. Like, I'm just so happy with my Discord community because everyone is so lovely, everyone's so supportive of each other, and I actually share a lot of sneak peeks there, and everyone's always so nice. People give me tips, people help me out, people let me know what they want to see. It's just lovely. So if you do want to join, please feel free. But the reason I said it wasn't just to promote it, it was actually because I actually, wait, why was it? Now I can't remember. Oh, it was because I have so many projects that I'm doing, and I've sent a lot of them in so that, you know, people can kind of see what I'm doing, and just so you can get an idea of what I'm working on at the moment. So yeah, if you're interested, if you're intrigued, please feel free. But anyway, enough of that. I'm now moving on to the upstairs finally, and I love the upstairs so much. So I added this shelving. I wanted this to just feel a little bit more interesting. Now, at this moment in time, all that seems to be clipping are these columns. This was an issue to me just because it looked bad, and it did annoy me, it did bother me, but it wasn't as big as the issue that ends up coming, which is the issue I have with, again, the like exterior trims seeping in. So it ends up happening for that wall that I just worked on, like with the plants and the books on it. I don't end up getting rid of it, but it ends up looking not too bad. But at the moment it's not there. I think it might have been because I added like a room, or because something like this. I think because I added more walls, it just completely messed up, and it was really frustrating. It was really like, it made me quite sad because I really liked how it was going along and how it was working. But yeah, it just kind of decided to take a turn, and it's not a big deal, it really isn't, but I just feel the need to kind of say it because, you know, it might be an issue to you, or maybe it's something that you'd want to fix, or you might know how to fix it and you can help me out. But yeah, you can see it here. I don't know what made it do that. Like, I haven't even added anything, and it just decided to add it. Anyway, it really doesn't look that bad. I feel like it looks okay, but yeah, I was trying to like stop the columns from clipping. It was just so many things. Anyway, it ends up looking okay, but I need to mention it. I need to get the anger out. Now, in terms of color scheme and stuff, you can probably see I went for a kind of like dark brown wood tone, which I really like. I love that. I think it works so nicely. And then the other colors I use end up being like white. I've got like soft reds for the leather chairs. I've got like I would say like a lot of blue, a lot of green and blue for the rugs. I really like the color scheme. I think it works really nicely. I was concerned that it maybe looked a little bit too boring. I don't know. I was kind of concerned that maybe it didn't look great. Like maybe it looked a little bit boring, it looked a little bit like there could have been a bit more personality. I'm not too sure. Definitely let me know what you think if it looks a little bit boring. But yeah, I think I do also end up adding, sorry, like paintings and stuff, some extra paintings. I might not show it on camera, but I'm sure I did add some extra ones just to liven the place up a little bit, but you will see that in the screenshots anyway. But yeah, this side of the room, so this is where I end up having the little food station, and this is where Sims can go and get a snack if they want to. I really like this little area. I'm really, really glad I included it, because one of my pet peeves is when I'm building in The Sims, and or no, not when I'm building, when I'm playing The Sims, and let's say I go to like a library and then my sim is like starving, and then I need to find a way to like make my sim eat or drink something, or you know, things like that. And yeah, there's bathrooms on this lot, so your sim is able to use the bathroom, they're able to eat. The only thing they aren't able to do is probably like get their energy up, because there's no way for them to have like coffee. I mean, they could like nap on the couches downstairs, to be fair, and like there is TVs to get their fun up and things like this, so I don't know, I feel like we can't complain too much. But yeah, there's like pretty much everything they need. It does hit all the requirements for being a library. Like I swapped it to a library just to make sure, but yeah, it's got everything. It's got the computers, it's got the bins, it's got a bathroom, it's got everything you need. So yeah, I'm hoping everything's okay, but you can definitely let me know. But I have rambled on for a very, very long time now. You will be happy to hear that we are coming to the end of this video. So if you've made it this far, genuinely thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. If you did enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and again, feel free to join my Discord. I love seeing you guys there. I love chatting with you all. It's so nice. It's such a nice community, and yeah, everyone again is so lovely. But thank you all once again, and I will see you all in the next one.